You might notice that the Marantz receivers that are typically behind me are not in their normal positions over here. I moved some black-faced equipment over there simply because it tended to have more reflection than I wanted in the background. Unfortunately, if you look right above me there, there is now a Luxman K03 manual calibration cassette deck sitting there. That's about $1,000 cassette deck back in the day. I don't have any more black-faced equipment to put there. I'm gonna need to get something to replace that piece so that everything is black behind me. But until that happens, the Luxman piece stays there. So what happened to the Marantz receivers? The Marantz receivers actually got pushed a couple of shelving units higher up, which you don't see on camera. So yeah, they're not gone. They're just repositioned. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about those Marantz receivers. Okay, when a guy turns 40, what do we call that? What is that called? You might know that that's typically known as midlife crisis for guys, right? What is a midlife crisis? A midlife crisis is when somebody turns a certain age and then they just look back on their life and go, man, what did I do with my life? What has happened all these years? And so, I think when I was younger, I kind of thought, yeah, that's stupid. But it kind of happened to me. When I hit around 40 years old, I kind of looked back and said, man, what did I do with my life? Did I actually do anything that was of any significance? Looking back on my life, and many people have told me, he says, well, you've done a lot of things. You've had a lot of different jobs. You've had a lot of different opportunities to do things that other people have not had the chance to do. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I worked in law enforcement. I've seen and done things that probably nobody else, unless they have worked in that area, have done. Being a photographer, I found myself in lots of situations that you typically wouldn't be in unless you were a photographer. I've had things open up to me because I was a photographer, being able to see things and do things. So yeah, I've done a lot of things in my life, but you still kind of look at it and go, what did I do with my life? So when I hit 40 years old, I think the first thing that popped into my mind was my dad, actually. My dad had passed away, I think, 1998, that time period. And I looked back at it and I said, well, my dad was a really good guy, and he gave me a lot of chances to do things. He never said no to us. He allowed us to do anything we really wanted to do. He paid for music instructions for us if we wanted to go into music. He paid for our college, everything. So he opened a stereo store for me and my brother, but I think more so for me maybe. He said later on in life, and my mom confirmed it. He says, "Yeah, we opened that store to keep you out of trouble." Me out of trouble? Was I a troublemaker? No, I wasn't a troublemaker, but I think I don't think I was as patient as I am today. I had more of a temper back then, and yeah, maybe I could have gotten in trouble, but I was a good guy. I was never a troublemaker or anything like that. But in his mind, we got to open something to keep him busy, essentially, right? So he knew that I liked audio equipment. He knew that I liked music. So he opened a stereo store. And so I worked with my dad for 7 or 8 years. And so those Marantz receivers kind of remind me of my dad. It was from the series of Marantz receivers around the time that we actually started our store. And so as I went through my midlife crisis, I said, I kind of wish I kept one of those things over the years just to kind of remember the store and to remember my dad. So I went on eBay and actually found some Marantz receivers, which are the two that I purchased. And I bought them on eBay. My wife says, why are you buying that junk? That's not junk. That's good stuff, right? If you're a guy, that's good stuff. They don't make receivers like they did back then. Those things are heavy, man. Those things are built like a tank. So anyways, I bought two of them. And so I'll hang on to them. You know, are they the best sounding receivers? No. I mean, there's better gear out there today. I think I mentioned in the past that you can buy audio gear today for a lot less money that really blow away a lot of the things we had to pay a lot more money for back in the day. And we're talking really around the mid 70s through, I don't know, early 90s. You know, you're talking about that time period, which they now call vintage gear. Quite frankly, I'm going, vintage gear, man, I feel old. But that was the heyday of audio equipment. So that's why I have those receivers, and that's why I keep those Marantz receivers. But the reflection on it, right in that corner, was really just bothering me. So I had to move them, and I just put some black face gear there instead. Maybe one day I'll buy one more piece of black equipment and replace that spot where that Luxman KO3 cassette deck is sitting, so that at least there's some uniformity in my look of my videos behind me, okay? And I also didn't put that black flag. If you looked at my old videos, you may know that I talked about putting a black reflector. Black doesn't really reflect, but a black reflector panel, so that when the light hits those components, it doesn't reflect back to it and then come back again, which gives you glare. You do see some glare still off of the display panels of the equipment. You do see that, and I guess if I put up the black flag up there, it would eliminate that. But man, it's a lot of hassles to have to reposition everything just to do a quick YouTube video. So I think I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it and let you see that little bit of glare. But at least the rest of it being black makes it a little bit easier on the eye. It doesn't seem to be so bad. So yeah, this thing here still kind of gives us a problem. Yeah, I'll replace that with something. And it'll be black-faced, so that you know. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, and just want to share that information with you. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit the like button, and definitely click on the little subscribe button below, because that helps me out, so we can get a little more subscribership to the channel. And hit the little bell icon. That tells you via email whenever a new video comes out. And it'll just send you a quick email and say, hey, Russ is Right has got a new video out, and then you know immediately you should go and watch that. Share the video with your friends, tell them about the channel. Let's grow this channel quickly. I'll talk to you guys next time.